What's going on, guys? It is early in the morning, and I'm gonna do something crazy. I have never smoked a piece of meat in my life. Never. I've never smoked a piece of meat in my life. And I've decided that I'm gonna try to smoke this butt here. I got this big pork butt from Walmart. You can see there, $16.33. And I'm gonna try to smoke this just using this smoker tube here. So I got this little smoker tube on Amazon, and you put pellets in it, and then you can light the pellets in there, and it supposedly will generate a bunch of smoke so that you can smoke something like this pork butt. The thing is, I don't have a smoker, so you're wondering, how am I going to do this? So I'm going to use the smoker tube, and I'm going to put the pork butt into this grill. So this is just a 2-burner propane grill, cheapest thing you can get at Walmart. I think I paid like 40 bucks for it on clearance. And I'm gonna try to turn this grill into a smoker by using this smoke tube here. And then we're gonna see if we can smoke this pork butt. So I hope you can join me for this adventure, because I have no idea if this is gonna work or not. I'm gonna use mustard as my binder. And then I bought this container of Weber dry rub. Got it at Walmart also. I'll see if I can find a link somewhere for it. I've never tried it before, so I don't know if it's any good. Supposedly it doesn't really matter. You just need to get something with some sugar and salt onto your pork butt, and you'll be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here, and I hope this works out, guys. You're going to love this little journey. Alright, so I've got it out of the package. Note that this is a bone-in pork butt. So I had a friend of mine that said the best thing to do when you're starting to smoke is to use a bone-in pork butt, so that you can try to pull the bone out at the end. And if you can pull the bone out, that's when it's done. So you use the bone as sort of an indicator of how long to cook it. If the bone slides out with no pulling, then you know your pork butt's done. So the first step we've got to do here is, I've got some paper towels here, and we're going to pat dry this. We're going to pat it all dry, and then we're going to put our binder on it, the mustard, and then we'll put all of our seasoning on it. All right, so here we go. Okay, I'm going to flip it over and dry a little bit more. All right, guys, I've got it all pat dried now. And now up next comes the binder. And I found this sketchy bottle of French's mustard in my fridge. I don't like mustard, so not sure where it came from. Maybe my wife got it at some point, but lovely. It's expired, or at least it was best by June of 2022. So not sure how well this is going to work, but I don't think it really matters. You just kind of need something to have the seasoning bind to. So we're going to put this all on here. Of course, there's like none left. We're going to put this all on here and rub it all around, and then we'll put our seasoning on here. Alrighty, so we've got mustard all around our butt, up in the crack there and everything too. Looking good, looking good, looking good. There's the bone right there. Can you see it? Right here. That's the bone. So that's going to be our temperature indicator. Now I've got a thermometer, so, and don't worry guys, I'm gonna put a thermometer in this. We're gonna make sure that we get it up to I think initially we're gonna try to get it up to like 175, and then we might put it in some tin foil, put it back out on the grill, and then we want to get an internal temperature of like 200 to 205 degrees. That's going to be the internal temperature that we're shooting for. And we still got to go downstairs and figure out how we're going to get the grill to stay between 225 and 250. I think that's going to be the hardest part, because it's a 2-burner grill. It's a really small grill, so there's a lot of heat in there, even with 1 burner on. So we're going to have to get creative to try to get that grill to stay down at a consistent 225 to about 250. Maybe we'll let it get up to like 2 260, 270. I saw online that some guys said that that's okay. It's still considered smoking, even though the books say no, smoking stops at 250. That's all right. If we get it a little bit higher, I think that's all right. So now let's put some seasoning on this now. So here's the seasoning I've got. Let's see if you can see that. It's hard to use. There we go. So this has got sugar in it, some more sugar in it, salt, and does anybody know what turbo sugar, whatever turbo sugar is going to be good. Salt, dried garlic, chili pepper, paprika, spices, just random spices, whatever spices Weber could find to put in here. And what does that say? Does that say rice? It says rice? Does that really say rice? Man, I can't read this label in the... I think that says rice. That's crazy. There's rice in here. Rice concentrate and red pepper. So, you know me. This was the cheapest one I could find. I think it was like 42 cents per ounce. Yeah, so we'll sprinkle this on our butt here, and we'll see how this works out. You're supposed to be really judicious on this, so we're going to be just really judicious. Yeah, it's hard to do with one hand. All right, let me get all this seasoning on this butt. You get the picture. I'm going to put a lot of seasoning on this butt, and then we're going to let it sit for an hour, and then we're going to go downstairs, and we're going to try to figure out the grill. This is side 2. Just wanted to point out to you guys that this is the other side of it that I haven't showed you yet. And so there's this decent amount of sort of fat on this back side of it, on the bottom side. I think I'm supposed to cut that off, but I'm just going to leave it because I don't want to do any more work. So I'm just going to leave that piece, and we'll see what happens. But let's go ahead and we'll continue putting our seasoning on here. You're supposed to go pretty heavy, so I'm going pretty heavy. Now, I read somewhere that, again, I've never done this before. I read somewhere that it said that even though it's called a rub, even though the seasoning is called a rub, you're not supposed to rub. So I'm not going to rub it. And then, wow, you can see there's lots of brown sugar in there, whatever that other turbo sugar is in there. But it's definitely turboing things up. So you're supposed to just leave it, not supposed to rub it. So I'm not going to rub it. I'm going to get it all on the sides here in a little bit. Don't worry, I'm just going to do that when I'm not holding the camera. But I'll get all the sides, get all that turbo sugar on there, and then we're just going to let it sit and sweat. That's the term they use. I don't know why sweat, but we're going to let it sit and sweat is the terminology that they say. Let it sweat for an hour. And supposedly during the sweating process, some of the seasoning gets soaked into the meat. I don't know. We're going to let it sweat for an hour, and then we'll figure out the grill thing because we don't know how to do that yet. Alrighty, we're done. We're done with the seasoning. I did a little bit of patting. So I did pat the butt a little bit to get the seasoning to kind of stick. So I did pat the butt a bit and got it all the way around. I flipped it over. I've got it on the fat part up. So that little fat layer we saw, I've got that up right now. Wanted to show you guys how much I used. So I used about half the container, which seems like a lot. You know, now I understand why barbecue's so expensive when you go buy it, because it's time consuming. I mean, the piece of meat's not that expensive. It was $16.63 for the piece of meat. That's not that expensive. But like the seasoning, I mean, this seasoning was like $7. And this was the cheapest one I got. You know, there wasn't a cheaper one than this one per ounce. So I'm glad I got a bigger container because I used a lot. So what does that work out to? So let's see. So that's like 40%. I mean, just the seasoning is like 40% of the price of the meat. So yeah, I understand why it's expensive. So the next step here is to let this guy sweat. So we're going to start the clock, let it sit for an hour, and we got to go get that grill going, man. We got to go downstairs and get that grill going, because that's the unknown right now. The unknown is whether we can get that piece of junk Walmart grill that I've got downstairs, if we can get that to stay at between 225 and 250. So we got to go do that next. Alrighty guys, here's the grill. Just a cheap Walmart 2-burner grill that's been used a lot. Sorry for the AC noise in the background. Yeah, I've got some lava rocks in here. I've had this grill for about 3 years now, and we're gonna turn this guy into a smoker. So let's go ahead and let's turn it on down here. And we're gonna turn one burner on. So we're just gonna put one burner on. We're gonna do this right one here. There we go. And let's put this on the lowest setting. And then we're gonna use this thermometer here. This is all I've got. So this is what we're gonna be using for the entire process. We're gonna use this thermometer through that little hole right here is how we're gonna check the temperature. So we'll see what that gets to with one burner. I don't know. But you know, you think I would have tested this ahead of time, but I have not. So you are seeing this adventure as we're doing it together. And yeah, I don't know, it's getting hot pretty fast. I don't know about this. I hope you guys can see that. Where it's 185 right now, and it's climbing very quickly. And we've got the burner on low, so we have it on the low right setting right now. Hopefully it'll slow down here. Alright, so there's 220, there's 230 and still climbing very quickly. Starting to slow down, starting to slow down. Alright, so that's going to be way too hot. So let's see what's going on here. So that's with one burner on. And see, right there, that's what one burner looks like. So that's pretty low. So we're gonna have to choke the gas off down here. I'm just gonna get it to where we can choke the gas off a little bit. That's still pretty. That's still not going to work. All right, well let me fiddle around with this a little bit, and we'll see if we can get this temperature down. Alrighty, so I choked the gas down. Man, guys, I'm embarrassed to show you this grill. Wow, this is pretty nasty. I took the grate out, and anyway, embarrassing looking grill. So I choked the gas down at the tank to that amount there. I know it's kind of hard to see. So let's see what that does for us. Hopefully this works, otherwise we're done with this video, because I tried to choke the grill down a little bit more at the tank, and all I'm doing is choking it here. I'm like literally trying to adjust it with this knob here is what I'm trying to adjust it with, which is kind of crazy, but so we'll see if this works. It's not increasing as quickly as it did before with the one burner on low with the tank fully open. I think this is gonna work. Well, let's see if we can get above. We got to get to 225 at least. Again, sorry for all the AC noise. You got the air conditioning condensing unit right here, right next to us where we're grilling. Well, we're not grilling anymore, we're smoking now. Come on, 200, 200, 200, 200. There we go, 200. I'll save you the watching time here and watch it for you. We'll come back here in a minute. So we got to a stable 213. That's very unfortunate because we're not going to be able to do any smoking at that temperature. We're going to have to raise the temperature a little bit higher. And it's starting to rain too, and so this grill is sitting outside. So I think the rain is probably getting, outside temperature is definitely going to have an effect on this. So we're at 212 now, and I feel like that's because the ambient temperature is starting to drop, and we're getting a couple sprinkles of rain here. So 213 looks like it's pretty stable. We're going to have to raise, somehow or another, we're going to have to raise this a little bit higher. Alright guys, I think this is going to work. So I managed to get it to a stable 238, which I think is ideal. I think that's going to be perfect. And again, all I'm doing is making minute adjustments to this valve here, which is probably the worst way to try to adjust temperature, but it's all I've got. You know, that's the only way I'm going to be able to get this to be this low of a temperature. So this is what we're going to go with. Hopefully it works. Alright guys, so we've got the grill figured out. We've got the grill dialed in to 238 degrees. And so we're getting ready here. Our little butt over here is still sweating things out. Look at that, it's kind of nasty, man. I didn't realize it was actually gonna sweat, but it's actually sweating. I think what's happening here is that the turbo sugar with the salt, I think all of that's getting sucked into the meat and it's sweating out the water that's still in the meat. So they weren't lying when they said it was going to sweat. So that's sweating. We're getting close to being done there. Here I've got a couple other things that I bought that we're going to use for this experiment. So we already talked about the smoke tubes. We got those there. What we haven't talked about yet is the pellets. So I don't have a pellet grill. You saw what I have. I've got a piece of junk Walmart grill. I don't have a pellet grill. So I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on a 20-pound or 40-pound bag of pellets. So I bought this little baby bag here. I don't know what people use this for, but this is a little baby bag of 5 pounds of pellets. This was really, really inexpensive. I'll put the link down below. Some of you are going to yell at me because I could probably get a 20-pound bag at anywhere for probably, I don't know, let's say 15 bucks or something like that. And this was pricey on a per pound basis. But again, I didn't want to have a bunch of pellets, so I bought this little 5-pound bag right here. Little 5-pound bag. So these are apple pellets, and I guess it's made out of apple wood. I don't know. Do they take apple trees and cut them down and make pellets with it? I guess that's what that means. Maybe it says on here somehow. This is from Smokehouse. It's 100% natural. Where does it say what this has in it? So it has 100% pure Pacific Northwest alder. So I don't know what that has to do with apple. So it's not applewood. Oh, no, 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 though. These are the different kinds. So it says try all the different flavors. So where does it say what's in here? Does it say, do they do ingredients? Guys, do they do ingredients on pellets? I guess not. You just have to believe. You just gotta believe. Just believe. So it's made in the USA. Well, there we go. Apple pellets. So we're gonna put those apple pellets in here. That's what we're gonna create our smoke with. And then I already have a camping stove. So I've got those butane tanks that go into a camping stove. So I bought this little torch. Man, this little torch. If you like fire, and most guys like fire, if you like fire, you put a butane can on this, and you got like a flamethrower. I mean, this is like crazy. So anyway, I bought this little torch. Also super cheap, very inexpensive. And this is what we're gonna use. So we're gonna use the torch to light our pellets inside the smoke tube. These are our pellets, and we're getting close to this, sweating it all out. Guys, I wasn't kidding when I said this is my favorite part of this whole experiment. This little torch here is kind of crazy. I'll turn it on here. Look at that craziness. Isn't that insane? And you just turn it off like that. Freaking crazy. I love it. All right, well, let's get back to the meat. All right, guys, meat is on the grill. The butt is on the grill. We're just getting back up to temp here. So we're at 211 right now. Hopefully that's gonna keep rising because we need it to keep rising. And then here we've got our smoke tube filled up with pellets. And let's go ahead and light this sucker. So we'll turn on our little torch here, and we'll go ahead and light these. So those are a bit harder to light than I thought. There we go, that's better. That butane torch worked awesome. That was really awesome how well that butane torch worked. So we're gonna let this just flame up here for a minute or two, and then we're gonna blow it out, and then we'll be ready to go ahead and put it on the grill here. And our grill temp is sitting at 211, so we're gonna have to increase that a little bit. Just a hair we have to move it. I bet you this is gonna add some temperature also. Okay, you can see we're starting to rise now. Oh, thank God for the AC shit turning off. It's so freaking loud. All right, there we go, guys. Smoke tube is working fantastic. Putting out a decent amount of smoke. Let's hope it lasts 5 hours. Even 4 hours would be great. And little butane torch did amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing little butane torch. So freaking hot. So now we're just waiting for the grill to get back up to temperature, and we'll be good to go. So I'll keep checking in here, guys, doing little videos as we check in and see how things are going. We've got a long way to go, so we've got like 8 to 10 hours to do this butt, so we've got a long day. We'll be drinking a lot of beer. Alright guys, it's been exactly 4 hours and the smoke tube stopped smoking. So didn't quite get 5 hours as advertised, only got 4 hours out of it, but I'm not complaining because it's been doing fantastic. So let's go ahead, we're going to open this up and we'll do the 4-hour reveal. I have not opened this since we put it in 4 hours ago, so I have no idea what this is going to look like. It's been smoking like crazy. Lots of smoke from that smoke tube, so let's see what this looks like. Alright, there's the smoke tube. See if I can get so you can see in there. It's just a bunch of ash inside of it now. And here's where we are with our pork butt. This is after 4 hours. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get another smoke tube in here. Get a second one going and we'll keep smoking. I think we've got about probably another 4 hours or so. We could check this. I guess we could check this right now. So I've got our instant read thermometer here, so we could go ahead and check this. Let's see. That's the bone right there. The bone's right there. It's a bone too. Okay, that's a little bit better. So we're sitting at 142 after 4 hours. I think that's pretty good. I think we're doing well. Let's keep this going. Alright guys, I've had a lot of beers so far. Been a wonderful day. It's raining out here now. We are at 6 hours right now. 6 hours of smoking. We already used up the first smoke tube, and so we're now on the second smoke tube. And we're going to open this up and see what 6 hours of smoking looks like. So let's go ahead and open this up. Looks pretty good, and it looks like we're halfway down the smoke tube, so we still got another 2 hours left of smoke tube to go, so looking really good. Let's do a temperature check in here. See what we're at. $144. I feel like that's where we were at before, so we still have quite a ways to go still. Yeah, 144. Yeah, we got a ways to go. We got to get to this 200. Huh. Maybe we'll crank the temperature up a little bit. All right, let's keep smoking. Alrighty guys, we're now at the 8.5 hour mark. So 8.5 hours now. And the second smoke tube, you see there's the first one down the floor. And interestingly, that first one down the floor down there is still hot. So there's still some smoldering pellets in there. And now the second one's done. So got about, wow, look how good that looks. So I got about 4 hours per smoke tube. 4 hours per smoke tube. And we're going to do a temperature check here. Let's see where we're at. So, not doing so great. So there we're at, still at 144. I'm not sure what's going on. We're at 157, 156 there. And then let's see if we can get another temperature in here. $153 there. I think maybe we've got some uneven heating going on. Yeah, 137 back there. So I think it's not heating as evenly as I would like. $164 there. Alright guys, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn the pan around and we're going to have to keep going. So we've still got a ways to go here. 165. I'm going to go ahead and cover this also so that we can continue cooking it. Guys, I don't have butcher paper, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this. I just wrapped it now in aluminum foil, and we're gonna let it cook for another 2 hours. I don't have any more smoke, so I think 8.5 hours of smoking is probably fine. That's probably good enough to get a good smoke in there. The 2 smoke tubes are done, and I'm not gonna clean them. So, and I've moved this over, so I turned this around so that maybe we can get some more even cooking, and I moved it over more towards the grill that's like actively has heat on the right hand side there. So we're gonna give that a shot, and we're gonna let it cook for probably another 2 hours. All right guys, it is 10 hours now. We're at 10 hours. I had no idea this was gonna be this long of a process. Just as a reminder, we did 8 hours of smoking with the 2 smoke tubes, so we're at 2 hours now with it. We're actually like at, yeah, about 2 hours now with it covered. So we got 2 hours with it wrapped in this foil, and we're gonna take a temperature check here and see where we're at. Okay, let's see. You see that? 190. So we're at 190. We need to get to another 10 degrees. Another 10 degrees to 200, and we should be able to take this off. See, yeah, there we go. We've got some light, so you can see the inside of this. Man, it looks really, really good. It looks really, really good. Let's see if we do another temperature check in here. $195 there. Let's check this end here. $190. I think maybe I'll try shifting things over a little bit. How's it looking there? It looks really, really good. All right, guys. I think maybe another half hour, 45 minutes, and we'll be set. All right, guys. Let's do another temperature check. We're at 11.5 hours now. 11.5 hours. All right, we're at 200. We're done. Just in the nick of time because we've got some flames going on here. So let's get this off of here. All right, guys, I think it's finally done. This is what it looks like. It's been sitting for about an hour and a half. It's still pretty hot, which is kind of surprising to me. I wasn't expecting it to be still this hot. But let's see if we can do the bone test here and see if that comes right out. Not quite. Not quite. Not quite ready, but man, it looks good. Didn't realize how big the bone was. So once I moved things around a little bit, it just slid out. It just kind of like fell out after I moved this around a little bit. So definitely done. We're gonna go ahead and pull it now. Looks awesome. It's coming apart pretty easily, especially this area down over here is coming apart really easily. This part here is not coming apart as easily, so I'm not sure. Must have been something with the temperatures, but otherwise, I mean, it looks fantastic. Can't really tell if there's too much of a smoke ring. I guess on some of it you can tell there's a smoke ring. I haven't tried it yet. It's still pretty hot. All right, guys. So this is the end result. I've got that pork butt all pulled apart, and it is freaking amazing. It is amazing how good it is. And all I used was a cheap Walmart grill that I've had for 3 years that I paid 40 bucks for. I used that cheap grill and a couple of smoke tubes and some applewood pellets, and I've come out with the most delicious pulled pork you've had. Now, it took a freaking long time. Started at 9:30, and it's, let's see what time it is. It's 11:15 at night. 11:15 at night. So it took a freaking long time. You remember when we started, we were doing this at like 2:38, 2:40. It would fluctuate down to like 2:35, a little bit up to 2:45. But we were right in that range, that 2:25 to 2:50 range. And then we did the last 3.5, 4 hours with it wrapped in aluminum foil. And then we finished it. I let it sit for almost 2 hours, and it was still hot. So this is the end result, and it's got just beautiful little smoke ring on it and pulled apart beautifully. That bone came right out. We can take a look at some pieces here. That's some with the bark on there. But yeah, it came out amazing. Amazing, just totally pulls apart. I took all the rendered fat that was in the pan. I put all the rendered fat on top of it. It's just unfortunate that it took so long because I don't have anybody to feed it to. But it's so freaking good. I learned my lesson. Next time you got to get up really early. You got to get up really early if you're going to do any good barbecuing. If you're going to do any good smoking, got to get up early. And so this concludes. This is the end. And it can be done. Yes, it can be done with a regular old propane grill. You can turn it into a smoker, and you can make amazing pulled pork. I hope you enjoyed this whole video. It was quite a day trying to get through it all, but man, the results just came out so good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you watching. Take care.